Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I'm here for, well, video 2! I alluded to the fact in my last video that I might do a few more videos on the presidential debate, and, well, here was one I thought was rather easy to, quote-unquote, debunk, or, so let's go ahead and watch, shall we?
There are millions of ballots going out right now.
What you do is you go and vote. You do a solicited ballot, and that's okay, or you go and vote.
I'm asking you about the fact that millions of people...
You go and vote. You go and vote.
But
like they used to in the old...
Millions of people...
You either do, Chris, a solicited ballot where you're sending...
So I just want to make a comment here. This debate has been hard to watch, and for one reason, most importantly, is President Trump is debating Chris Wallace as much as he's debating Joe Biden. This is like the Trump versus Chris Wallace, Joe Biden presidential debate. A moderator is supposed to be a neutral individual asking questions, not a person debating policy and issues. Chris Wallace has not been he has not been able to keep his own opinions to himself. He's interjecting into these proceedings, and he's letting his left-wing bias show all over this debate. But anyway, let's continue on.
Sending it in, they're sending it back, and you're sending... They have mailmen with lots of it. Did you see what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia. Mailmen selling the ballots. They're being sold. They're being dumped in rivers. This is a horrible thing for our country. This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well.
5 states.
There is no evidence of that. There is no evidence of that. There is no evidence of that, Joe Biden says. Well, let's take a look, Joe. So, Trump was just talking about the West Virginia one.
A West Virginia mail carrier is pleading guilty to altering mail-in requests for absentee voter ballots. Thomas Cooper was charged in May after 5 mail-in requests for absentee ballots had their party affiliation switched from Democrat to Republican. According to an affidavit, he says he did it as a joke. He's charged with attempted election fraud and injury to the mail. Katie Johnston for KDKA News.
And how about another one?
Greenville, Wisconsin, warning bells are ringing after 3 trays of mail, including absentee ballots, were found in a roadside ditch Tuesday morning. A USPS spokesman says the United States Postal Inspection Service immediately began investigating, and we reserve further comment on this matter.
Trump was a little wrong on the ditch versus river
Texas,
thing.
134 felony charges were filed against a county commissioner and 3 others for trying to rig the 2018 Democratic primary with a fraudulent mail-in ballot scheme, using able-bodied young people posing as disabled. Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton said mail ballots are vulnerable to diversion, coercion, and influence by organized vote harvesting schemes. And in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, the FBI has joined state police probing the discovery of a small number of military mail-in ballots discarded, possibly in the trash. At least 7 of the 9 ballots had votes cast for President Trump, who narrowly won Pennsylvania to seal his victory in 2016.
We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be.
The president.
All right, let's move on to the next one. There was more there in that last video that I could have gone through, but
Voters got voting materials in the mail to vote absentee, but no ballot was in the envelope. And now we're hearing from one of them. News 3 reporter Brendan Ponton explains what happened.
Robert Martin opened his mailbox on Friday to find what he thought would be the materials he needed to vote absentee by mail. But one key piece was missing.
I got my package on Friday, open it up, no ballot.
The ballot wasn't there. The Virginia Beach Registrar's office says this happened to some voters, but they did not say how many. The ballots were left out by mistake.
After going through it a couple times, it's like, what's the deal? There's nowhere to vote.
Even though he was originally intending to vote by mail, Martin came here to the registrar's office on Monday because he wanted to make sure his vote counted.
I took the necessary steps to go and make sure my vote gets counted, because that's the most important thing.
He says his name was taken off of the vote by mail list, but he's worried others will give up if they don't get their ballot in the mail.
It's frustrating. Some people would have said, hell with this. I can't be bothered now.
In a statement to News 3, the registrar's office said, "We have been labeling and preparing for the November mailing since January 2020, when changes were made at the last minute, such as postage, paid return envelopes, and new instructions. We had to update over 30,000 packets in the 2 weeks prior to the initial mail-out. Many of us have worked 60 to 80 hours in a week trying to accommodate the state's updates. Voters can contact our office at 757-385-8683 to let us know that they did not receive a ballot with their packet, and one will be sent out immediately."
All right, and elsewhere in the country.
Now, concern over absentee ballots after several New York City voters say that they received someone else's return envelope. Many Brooklyn residents posted on social media about this error. And in a tweet tonight, the city's Board of Elections is asking those affected to contact them. The BOE says this error is due to an outside vendor.
An outside vendor, huh?
Tonight now.
All right, so there you have it. 4 quick videos, all easily found online, from various places all over the country, all showing problems with the mail-in voting system. Now, Trump is right when he says that normal mail-in voting, which is absentee ballots, where you request the vote and they send you the ballot and then you fill it out and you send it back, is fairly flawless. It works fairly well. It's a system that's been used in the United States for quite some time. However, most of these issues are not with the quote-unquote requested mail-in ballot. It's with the new unsolicited ballot system Democrats are trying to push through under the guise of the COVID pandemic to quote-unquote swamp the system and purposely cause voting mayhem. They know it's going to cause voting mayhem. This is part of their strategy that they're trying to use against our president. Why? I have no idea. I don't think they expected to find themselves outnumbered in the Supreme Court at this point in time. And right now, they're probably a little bit upset. Well, they're probably a lot upset about the fact that the Justice Ginsburg died. This has definitely thrown a complete wrench in their diabolical plans of trying to thwart Donald Trump. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. If you're watching my videos, you came to watch my videos. I didn't beg you to watch them. You chose to watch them. I'm not soliciting you to watch them. YouTube recommended them to you via the algorithm. If you chose to watch me and you're not a Republican, if you're not part of the Republican echo chamber, and you're part of the Democrat echo chamber, feel free to leave a lengthy 2-page diatribe in my comments section about how I'm an asshole. I do love the hate messages whenever I get them. Of course, you can just choose to downvote the video if you don't like it, or if you're somebody with some common sense, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a Republican. You could be a classical Democrat who's just realized that the Democratic Party has gone so far to the left that it's jumped off a communist cliff and is going to be supporting Donald Trump because it's the only logical person to support in this election, then, and you like what you're hearing, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Anyway, whatever you do, I don't care, because I do this as a hobby. In fact, it's almost like therapy to be able to vent about the craziness going on in our country. It takes a little bit of the weight off of my chest to be able to just talk about the stupidity that we find ourselves faced every day in this country. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace.